Let's solve one or two problems under dilutions. See the question we have here. It says, what weight of potassium permanganate is required to produce 300 ml of solution such that 5 ml of this solution diluted to 250 ml gives 0.01% weight per volume solution. To tackle this type of question, I want to point out one or two things in dilution. In dilution, a particular product volume or the amount is being increased without actually altering the amount of the ingredients in that product. For example, now, let's assume that this potassium permanganate has 1 gram is dissolved in a particular quantity of water, enough water, and make up to 500 ml solution. Dilution by adding water will only increase the volume of the final solution, but the actual weight or the amount of the potassium permanganate is not changed. So if the potassium permanganate is 1 gram, it will still remain 1 gram, irrespective of the extent you dilute the solution. But the strength, the concentration of potassium permanganate in that solution will be decreasing as you dilute the solution. That is what I want you to know, understand. One point I want you to understand when it comes to what? Dilution of liquids. The same thing with dilution of solids. The more you add the diluents, the initial amount of the active ingredient is not changed. So as you are adding the diluents, what will happen is that the total amount of the mix will change, and the strength of the active ingredient in the total mix, that's the product, will change. But the amount of the active ingredient in the powder remains the amount you initially added. Now let's look at this question. What weight of potassium permanganate is required to produce 300 ml of solution such that 5 ml of this solution diluted to 250 ml gives 0.01 weight per volume solution? Let's start from the beginning. Let's assume the weight of the potassium permanganate added, we don't know it, let's call it W. So let W be the weight of the potassium permanganate that was used to produce 300 ml solution. So if that is the case, what it implies is that the concentration of the solution that is produced will now become W in gram over what? 300 watts ml. That's the concentration of the solution produced by dissolving W weight of potassium permanganate in sufficient volume of water, and at the end make it up to 300 ml. This is the concentration, because we don't know the initial weight of the potassium permanganate that was used. We don't know, so we call it W. So the strength is now W over what? 300. Now let's go down again. We are asked that 5 ml of this solution was diluted to 250 ml. Now let's go back to the solution of strength W gram over 300 ml. That is W over 300 gram per mil. Now, another important thing I want to know is, let's look at this 5. 5 mil was taken from this solution. So let's go back to the solution again. So from this thing now, from this whole thing now, it implies that 1 mil of this solution contains W over 300 gram of potassium permanganate. That's the implication. Now, if 1 mil contains this, 5 mil will contain what? We don't know. We call it what? X. So X is now equal to what? 5 mil times W over 300 G divided by what? 1 mil. So mil cancels mil. So what we now have is this. 5W over what? 300 gram. So this 5W, which is also equal to what? W over what? 60 gram. So W over 60 gram of this potassium permanganate was used to produce 300 mil. Sorry, W gram was used to produce 300 mils. In 5 mil of this solution will contain W over 60 gram of potassium what? Permanganate. Let's go back to the question. We are told that this 5 mil that was taken from here, from this solution, was diluted to what? 250 mil. We were told that the 5 mil from here was diluted to what? 250 mil. Now, 5 mil of this solution contains what? 300 W over 60 gram. Remember, I said before now that irrespective of the extent of the dilution, that the amount of potassium still remains the same thing. So what it implies is that in this 250 mil of the entire solution, we still contain the same W over 60 gram potassium permanganate. So what it implies is that W over 60 gram of potassium permanganate will also be found in what? 250 mil of the what? Solution after the what? Dilution. With this now, we can set up the amount strength, which is now equal to W over what? 60 gram all over what? 250 mil. So this is the amount strength of the solution that gives this is the percentage strength of the solution of this 250 mil, and this is the amount strength. So we can now equate the amount strength, use the amount strength to set a proportion with the percentage strength. From there we can find the weight of the potassium permanganate that was used. Okay, remember that 1% weight per volume is something as what? 1 gram over what? 100 mil. Now, let's use this percentage strength and weight and the amount strength of this same solution, because this is the amount strength of this solution and this is the percentage strength of the same solution. Let's use the amount strength and percentage strength of this solution and set a proportion with this relationship. From there we can find W. So if that is the case, that means if 1% weight per volume is set as 1 gram over 100 mil, that means 0.01% weight per what? Volume can also be equated to what? W60 gram all over what? 50 mil. So now let us cross multiply and get our W. From here now, we can see that W over 60 gram over what? 250 ml is equal to what? 0.01% weight per what? Volume times 1 gram all over what? 100 ml divided by what? 1% weight per what? Volume. Weight per volume will cancel weight per volume. Percent will cancel percent. So what will happen next? We now have something like this. W over 60 all over what? 250 ml is equal to what? 0.01 gram all over what? 100 what? Ml. So we bring out W over 60. We bring out W over 60, which will now become what? 250 ml times what? 0.01 gram all over what? 100 ml. Ml cancels ml. 0 from here cancels 0, remains 25. So 10 divided 25, we have 2.5. 2.5 times 0.01, we have what? 0.025. We have 0.025. So at this point now, W over what? 60 is now 0.025 what? Gram. 0.025 what? Gram. So that means that W is equal to what? 60 times what? 0.0 what? 25 gram. Yeah. So at this point now, you multiply this, you get something like this. Okay, this is certain as 60 times 25 over what? 1000. This divide this. So what do we have here? 6 times 25 is what? 150 over what? 100. This will give us what? 1.5 what? Gram. So the weight of potassium permanganate. Potassium permanganate that will be needed is what? 1.5 gram. So 1.5 gram of potassium permanganate is needed to produce 300 ml of solution, so that if 5 ml of the solution is diluted to 250 ml, it gives 0.01% weight per weight solution.
Admission. Dear ladies and gentlemen, I bring good news. Admission into the diocese on the Niger School of Pharmacy Technician EENU Mission Hospital is on. The School of Pharmacy Technician (PhT) is an accredited tertiary institution that offers students a diploma degree to work in hospitals and pharmaceutical companies in order to promote safe and effective use of medicines at grassroots level. Graduates of Pharmacy Technician School EENU who wish to study pharmacy in the university can obtain direct entry into any university of their choice. The school has a well-equipped laboratory, comfortable hostel, and a healthy refectory. The requirements for admission are credit in English, mathematics, biology, chemistry and physics. In GCE, WAEC, NECO, NABTEB are not more than 2 sittings. The School of Pharmacy Technician (PhT) is located at ENU Mission Hospital, Agidi, Anambra State. For more information, call 0803 708 1512, 0813 868 2003, 0803 267 5322. Diocese on the Niger School of Pharmacy Technician. A tradition of excellence.